We are activating your unique self-discovery one show at a time. The Orchard of Wisdom Self-Discovery podcasts are at your fingertips, just waiting to inspire and invite you in discovering just how awesome you really are and how to navigate through life in joy, enrichment, personal abundance, in mind, body, spirit, heart, and soul. All the people we bring you are here to serve you on your journey of life. Do enjoy our next show. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Ignite Your Heart and Soul right here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy, and my guest from England is Michelle Kierznowski. I know I buggered that up. Can you tell us what it is, please, love?
Kierznowski.
There we go. I hate disservicing people's names. It's much better if they say it themselves. She's an intuitive, a coach, and a teacher, and her passion is to help people let go of their limited beliefs and connect to their higher self. We all have a higher self, folks. Just got to open it up and let it in. Michelle regularly has conversations with a higher self and shares these inspirational messages with others. She teaches people from all over the world to fall in love with life and allow life to fall in love with them. She is a passionate speaker and holds the attention of the audience. She gets the message through clearly and motivates people to take action. She's a qualified quantum hypnotherapist. She's a passionate teacher and helps her clients understand what action to take to reach their goals. And she helps her clients with their higher self to get results. She intuitively helps her clients understand why they created the reality and how to break through from those limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs, I call it societal dictation. Right? You know, society has decided we should be this and we should be that. Nice little package, put a bow on top, and don't rock the boat. Don't be different. And that is not the way we're meant to live, is it? Welcome to the show, Michelle.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be here.
So how do we get rid of those limiting beliefs? It's really programming, isn't it? You know, the brain is the hardwire of the body where we can lift our arms and do things. And it's the mind that's the programming. And we've been programmed from past lives, from ancestral, conditioning of this life. And so sometimes you're not even aware that you're in a pattern, right?
No.
It's just so automatic.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's subconscious. So a lot of times you're not even aware that you are running these programs, but nothing ever happens to you. You're not a victim.
Yeah. Yes.
You're very powerful and you are able to create your reality. And you can, therefore, if you don't like something the way it is, you can change it. You have the power to do so. But one of the limiting beliefs that we are holding on to, we don't even know it. We don't even know that we have this power to change things if we don't like it. So one of the limiting beliefs that we are taught within our society is just suck it up, go with it, just push through, endure to the end, and all these type of things. But it takes its toll on us, and it makes us not enjoy life.
I think we're very much there right now around the world where we're feeling rather saturated. We're saturated with the pandemic. We're saturated now with recessions happening. We're saturated with wars. We're saturated with the hate mongering going on. And everybody's just like up to here, feeling that they're a piece of blotting paper that's absorbed all this hate and they don't know how to get rid of it. And it is quite essential at some point that you have to switch off to what's going on and tune in. And you talk about the higher self. Well, the higher self cannot come through a closed heart. So it really is important that we open up our heart. How do we open up our hearts?
Well, I think trust. Trust in a higher power. Most of the time, I mean, we create this avatar for ourselves, our body. Our body is not us. Our emotions is not us. Our thoughts, it's not us. And we're stuck in this body and we just want to survive. We just want to make sure that we are okay and things like that. And so we allow our ego and our body to dictate to us who we are, what we should do, what we are capable of. And it's very much me, me, me. So when you do that, you separate yourself from your higher self. Once you separate yourself and you see yourself as a separate identity with weaknesses and with strengths and with a personality and with all these type of things, you create your reality around that. So if you think about the ocean, when you separate a drop from the ocean, I mean, the power of a drop compared to the ocean is like really minute, bit small.
Yeah.
So we're trying to be this drop and we're trying to do the best we can, and we close ourselves off from the higher self because we feel separate from it.
Yeah.
And we put the highest self, or some people will call it God, the universe, source, divine, whatever it is, whatever you call it, you put it up there, far away from you.
Yeah.
And I'm here and I need to do this. Me, I am. And you just keep separating yourself. So the easiest way to connect to your higher self is to let go of the separate ego, let go of the separate identity that you have created for yourself.
Which means let go of all the negative chatter in your head and that's around you. Because I feel society has designed itself to pull people down, for them not to be the individuals, not for them not to connect to the higher self. And religion for a long time is that you couldn't speak directly to God or source, whatever you wish to call it. You had to go through the church, and the church was all about punishment and penance. And that's not God's truth. You know, God's truth, the universe is about love. It's about positive vibration. And you've got to be careful what you ask for, because the universe will deliver. So make sure you're very articulate on what you want, or you might get something misconstrued, right?
Yes, definitely. And I mean, Jesus even taught that the kingdom of God is within us.
Yes.
And we're not separate.
Yeah.
And so in our society, we've also got like powers outside of ourselves, and we're looking for God outside of ourselves, whether that God, whatever we worship, whether that God is a spiritual being, whether it's money, whether it is power, whether it is something. People want to find God because that is their wholeness, that is their completeness, their abundance, their power, their love, their security, and all these type of things. But they keep looking for it in other people. They're looking for it in stuff to complete them. But what we need to do is just look within. We need to go within and let go of all this outside stuff. So this is the one thing that I'm so passionate about this.
Yes, I hear it. Love it.
I explain things in vibrations, in energy, because everything is energy and it makes sense to me.
Absolutely.
So what we do is, when you think a thought is an energy and it has a vibration and you can measure it. So when you think a thought, it actually kind of like projects out like a wave, and then it comes back. The same exact frequency comes back as your experience. So if you want to know what is going on with your vibrations, just look around you, because everything that you have created in your reality is what you have projected out, and like an echo, like a mirror, comes back and you're experiencing it. So once again, you're not a victim. Nothing is happening to you that you don't give permission, whether this is subconscious, but you are creating all of this. Now, a lot of the time when something is subconscious, it's because maybe not this lifetime, but other lifetimes, you have thought something so many times that it has become natural and part of your vibration. And this is the vibration that is still very prominent, and that is the vibration that you keep sending out. So you might now want to go and manifest something like a lot of money, or you want happiness or the love of your life. And you'll hold this thought and it will create this wave that you are sending out. But subconsciously, you're holding on to maybe the opposite. That that wave that you're sending out is much stronger. So this wave might be small, but this wave is much bigger, and it kind of like cancels this one out, and it still comes back as the things that you're holding on subconsciously.
Everything's a reflection. It's a reflection of you. You know, this is why I always say to people, be careful what you seed. And when you do seed, you know, seeds of positivity, make sure you water and nurture them well, but allow them to grow in their own time. And when they come into full bloom, you know, now you can share that out with everyone else. But we've got to be careful what we seed. And negative talk, and of course, you're in England, lots of negative talk there. You know, it's called sarcasm, and we're very good at sarcasm in England. And, you know, punning, and, you know, it may be done in jest, but we've got to remember the universe doesn't know that. It just knows that they're unkind words. And those unkind words are going to be what we are seeding, what we are feeding. And so I've just done a show myself for this week as well, which is, you know, about seeding the joy in your own life and becoming, when we're saturated with everything that's going on around us and we can't even think, you know, go through the veil to think of anything positive because we just feel so drowned in it, is, you know, looking to gratitude. You know, stop looking at what you don't have and what's repressive right now. Look at what you do have, right? And stepping into the grateful vibration, because that's so powerful, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. And another thing, once we send out this reflection, this wave, and we don't like it, we try and change it and tweak it outside of ourselves. Now, if you go to a mirror and you hold up your hand in front of the mirror, and now you look into the mirror and the mirror is reflecting back with your hands up and you don't like it, you can't really go to the mirror and try and put the hands down.
Right.
And put your own hands down. And that is the important thing that we need to do in life. If you don't like what you see, you can't go and change somebody. You can't go and change the situation outside of yourself, because then you are working with the reflection. Okay, you've already sent out that vibration, just coming back. It's just showing you, hey, this is what you were saying. I'm just serving you what you asked me to give you. That's when you need to come and look inside of yourself and like, all right, what is it that I am thinking to create this? What am I holding on to? Now, a lot of times, our thoughts, like our desires, it's a two-sided coin. Now, as soon as you separate yourself from your higher self, there is not abundance anymore. Now you create lack. So there is a desire, because you don't have something, you want something. And that is the flip side of the two-sided coin. So the one side is your desire. This is what I really want. But at the same time, you're pushing something away. Like, for example, if I'm saying I want more money, all right, you are kind of like desiring I want more money, but at the same time pushing away, I don't want to be poor.
Right.
But it's exactly the same coin, and it's the same vibration. And a lot of times when people try and manifest this happy life or more money and stuff like that, they don't always get it, because they're at the same time sending out like, there's lack, there's fear, I don't want something. And when you think about these things a lot, that is what you are sending out. So yes, it is very important to not think negative thoughts, to say negative thoughts, because even your words, your thinking, your mind, everything is energy and everything vibrates. And if it can vibrate, that is what you are sending out, and it will come back as an echo as your experience.
Right. You know how people are looking for completion, something to complete them, whether it's God to complete them, a relationship to complete them. And I'm always saying complement, right? We, you know, when we come together, let's complement each other. Let our energies be in sync with each other. And when you do allow that divine source, that higher self, to come through you and be a part of you and ignite your heart and soul and spirit within you, you are complementing each other. You are there, that higher self, which is always within you. It just needs for you to open up and, open up that heart, let the channel in, let the soul in. It has the clarity, it has the wisdom, and it can resonate in the heart, and it can get the spirit into action, and the mind will know what it needs to know when it needs to know it. But don't look at it to complete you. You're already completed. All you need to do is just open up and feel the complementary energy that the divine gives you.
I like that. That's nice. Another way that I like to think about it is to see eye to eye.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, when you go inside of yourself and you see the highest self in yourself, so you connect with God or highest self within yourself. So that is just I. It's not I am separate. It's just I. And then when you look at other people, to see God within them, to see their highest self, their highest potential, their highest energy within them. And when you then connect with people, you connect from I to I. And all you see is I to I.
Mm-hmm. Which equals us. We've been taught by society that we can think anything and manifest it, or that our thoughts are the governing thing, and they are, because our thoughts bring about the vibration, the negative vibrations. But I think one of the things that we're not taught is how to feel our heart, feel our spirit, feel the soul coming through you, because we forget there's an intellect in the soul, heart, and spirit. And if we can come from that space and feel it, there'll be more clarity in the mind. But when we're in the mind, we're actually very limited as to what we can understand, because that's the knowledge that you've been given. But how do you use that knowledge? Allow the wisdom to come through you, feel that wisdom to come through you, and it will know how to use that knowledge that will then benefit you and all around you.
Yeah, definitely. I know that what helps is to actually just quiet the mind, because the mind is like a monkey brain. It's like all the time, and it's never ever quiet. And some of these thoughts actually do run subconsciously, so you're not consciously actually looking at that thought, and you wonder, like, why am I keep experiencing this? But to quiet the mind, any thought puts you out, separates you. It, like, for example, you think a thought that I am whatever the thought is, and it separates you immediately. So as soon as you quiet the thought, you go above the thought. It's almost like the clouds. Your thoughts are like the clouds, and they're stopping you from connecting to the sun, to a higher vibration. And as soon as you just go above the clouds, you can connect to the highest vibration. So meditation really does help if you could just quiet the thoughts. And sometimes, if you're going to sit and meditate and you're going to struggle, you're going to fight off your thoughts, then that's not going to help. No. You're going to not feel relaxed or go above, because you're trying to fight thought with thought.
Yes.
But if you can just allow it and let it pass and just go above thought, that is when you can fully connect to the sun, that higher vibration, and your highest self. So sometimes just stilling your mind, taking a nap, meditate, or just do something that just stops you from thinking. A lot of the time, if you do something that you have never done before, it puts you in the moment, because you consciously think about what you are doing. So people who are driving for the first time, for example, if they're starting to learn how to drive, they struggle to listen to the music or look at somebody else, and somebody can't have a conversation with them because they are so in the
focused.
moment, concentrating on what they need to do. So if you are finding that you're going through a time when your mind is just talking, you can actually try and do something that you've never done before, because that means that part of your brain needs to be quiet, so that your conscious brain can actually look at what needs to be done
presently.
So
Right.
yes,
Yes.
so that is another interesting thing that
Yeah.
people can do.
That's a good point, actually, and be willing to try something new, don't get stuck in the old rut. Oh, well, this is what I know how to do. I'll just stick with it. No, you're not designed to stay put. You're designed to be fluid and constantly in flow. This morning, I had a little irritant. And so I play some of this music, and it's beautiful Indian music that is really hits you on a higher vibration. And then I started to write my blog for my show and let it come out. And it's like, it removed me. It removed me. It literally spoke to my soul and my heart. It calmed me down and it removed me so that whatever I did put down, I could channel through. And this is the thing, there's always something out there where I've got a very chatty mind. It's so sit down and meditate. No, not for me. I need to put it somewhere. So the music is something, nature is beautiful, right? Because nature doesn't lie. It doesn't lie. It doesn't judge, right? Doesn't matter what we do to nature. It's always there in a beautiful vibration. And this is why it feeds us so much.
Yeah. I just want to say something that came to mind, and something that I read this week. So a lot of times when, like you said, my mind as well, it just keeps going and it's like, shh, but it doesn't. And we overthink things.
Yes.
And we assume things, and we stress about things that actually doesn't matter. I read somewhere that if you are stressing about something is really like getting you down and making your mind just go crazy, just put it into perspective by thinking, what is the tree's opinion about my problem?
Exactly.
And I'm sure, if you could imagine having that conversation with the tree, what do you think about my problem? I'm sure that it will like just give you a different perspective.
Guarantee it. Yeah.
When we go through life, we are seriously taking a magnifying glass on every single thing and blowing it up.
Yes.
Once you remove yourself and zoom out a little bit, you see a different perspective, and all is well. All is well.
And as far as the trees are concerned, those rustling of the leaves, they are speaking to you. We in our intellectual mind are not going to understand it, but our heart and soul is. I remember going with my dog for a walk down this passage of trees, and the trees were just having a party. The leaves were just going, I said, you're really noisy today. And they stopped just like that. They stopped. And it was like, I said, okay, just rustle a little quieter and I will hear you. But it was like all of the trees shouting at once. And we may laugh at that, but we've got to remember every single frequency that goes through the trees and the ocean and the land and the sky and everything is also the frequency that's in us, just on a different volume. And so this is why we're always connected to nature and to things. And this is why we can speak to them. It's not your intellectual language. It is your soul and heart language that is communicating.
Definitely. And there is a oneness.
Yes.
We are all one because everything is energy and there is one energy.
And it needs to be in flow, because if you try and stop it, that's when you start getting problems, isn't it? You get stuck and you're not allowing the energy to take you through the process. And this is where it ferments and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you've forgotten what started it. But now it's become a monster.
Definitely. And I mean, like you say, it needs to be in flow. And the one thing that staggers the energy and that disconnects the energy is once we separate ourselves from the energy, from the oneness. Yeah. And we put ourselves in our little bubble and we say, I am me and I need to be safe and I need to survive and I need to feel important. So, I might have to like step on other people. Who can I use or who's going to try and use me? And it's like this battle to keep safe, forgetting that actually we are all one. And if you help another, you're actually helping yourself.
Yes. Thank you for saying that. It's people need to understand that when you are giving, you may never physically ever get a thank you or know how that's done, but that giving of energy has a beautiful reflection back on you. It's the
Mhm.
greatest gift you can give or get is in the giving.
Definitely, definitely. I read a very interesting book or a week ago or something, and they said that the monks who sit in meditation are doing more good for the world than we realize, because every single time everybody in the world who thinks a thought, that thought goes into the world.
Yes,
And
it does.
everybody's thoughts go into, and some of them are very low vibrational thoughts. And when somebody can actually meditate and send their love and higher vibration and
Yes.
higher thoughts into the world, it kind of like balances it up a little bit more and just keeps everything into a nicer balance. So even if you like praying or meditating or sending love, you know, when you walk through nature and you just send love and appreciation and gratitude, that goes out into the world and it affects the wholeness, the oneness, and kind of like, okay, it's not an outside helping somebody physically, but even just sending out that vibration, that love, that appreciation, or that well-wishing, you know, if you know somebody's not feeling well, to think of them and think of them as healed, or sending them strength or something like that, will do a lot of good.
Absolutely, because we're all part of that energy. You
Yes.
know, I always draw the analogy that we're in our self-discovery of what our instrument is, learn how to play it, and then find the orchestra that you can create music harmoniously together, right? You know, every grain of sand makes a beach, every drop of water makes the sea, you know.
Yes.
All the trees, you know, one tree, the roots that go out to everyone. And I don't know if you've ever seen Judi Dench's movie on trees, where
No.
they actually show the fiber optics of the trees talking to each other from one root to the other, and they never pass judgment. Oh, you're an oak, I'm not going to talk to you. Right? It's just fascinating. It's wonderful. And we all have that ability to be connected to each other vibrationally. And if we could connect each other just simply lovingly vibrationally, without judgment, without assumption, without dictation, right, without insecurity, then we would actually find that we could all be part of that chorus that really is extremely harmonious and healing to the world. Everybody's looking out there for someone else to fix them. You know, we'll blame the politicians, we'll blame this, we'll blame that, we'll blame that. Sorry, look in the mirror. What are you doing? Because in healing yourself, you have now become part of the solution for the world.
Yes. And when you judge and when you run your programs, you set filters. And
Yes.
your filters predict how you are seeing the world and how you are experiencing the world and how you are interacting with the world. So as soon as you take off your filters, you will actually see that the world, it doesn't need healing. It doesn't need to be fixed. Everything is whole and everything is beautiful. So yes, we need to look inside ourselves and we need to remove the filters, remove the programmings, remove those thoughts of separation, and connect to the wholeness of who we really are.
Yep.
And that will also then, instead of zooming into the problems and with our magnifying glass, it will take us out and connect us to a bigger, and see the world and see ourselves from a different perspective.
All creativity comes from those who have stepped outside of themselves and have channeled. They have opened up and let that energy through them. And to see them work, you know, I mean, you look at Tesla, you know, he was brilliant, and that brilliance just came through him. It wasn't him doing it, it was him downloading it, but he had the intellect to know what to do with it. And he was years and years and years and years and years, if we had gone the Tesla way, we would be in a totally different world completely, because he was about free energy, right? So the thing is that we all have that capability to be brilliant. If we get out of our own ego, our own way, and allow the brilliance to come through us, to ignite our capabilities, I love people who have discovered something about themselves. Do you know, I didn't know I could do that. I was
Mhm.
always so scared of that. I don't know what I was so scared of. I love it. And that's
Yeah.
because they stepped outside of themselves and aligned themselves and allowed themselves to take the journey.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. When I earlier on, when you said the introduction for me, and I said I help people fall in love with life and then
Mm-hmm.
our life to
Yes.
fall in love with them.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, you know, when you want something done or you have something that you want, then it's like, okay, how am I going to do this? What am I going to do? How am I going to get from here to here? And it's like this whole stress. How am I going to do this to this? But if you just allow
Mm-hmm.
the universe, your higher self, higher vibration, higher power, God, to work with you,
Yes.
you have to go and do everything, but just be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be the higher vibration, because if everything's energy,
Mm-hmm.
you are either pushing things away or you're attracting, but you always vibrate at the same frequency as whatever you are experiencing. It's the mirror, it just comes back to you. The same vibration you push out comes back. And when you allow God, higher vibration, to work with you,
Mm-hmm.
you don't need to struggle. You don't
No.
need to push so hard against things. You just open up and you allow it to come to you. So you don't have to do much. You just have to be.
Get out of your own way.
Well said.
You know, they always say that have a blank canvas in front of you, have the paintbrush, and then close your eyes and paint.
Yeah.
You know, because our eyes very often with the chatter from our head said, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. But if you actually close your eyes and then you paint, when you look at what you've painted, you never could have imagined it.
Yeah.
Because you allowed it, right?
Yes.
And there are so many people that are writing now and they're being conduit writers and they're channeling this. And it's like, I don't know how this happened to me or why it happened, but it just comes through me and I can't stop it. It's like a Niagara Falls pouring out of me. And it's like you got out of your way and allowed, and the universe used you as that vessel to share that wisdom. And what a compliment that is.
Yeah, definitely. You used a canvas, and what it reminds me of and what I like to teach people is that, every single day is a blank canvas.
Mm-hmm.
Every single day you have an opportunity to create a masterpiece. What we do is we bring yesterday's baggage with us. So we recreate.
That was so yesterday.
So we recreate yesterday every single day instead of creating a new masterpiece with new possibilities.
Yes.
We just bring yesterday's stuff with, and we just paint it all over again and just make it all over again, create it all over again. And that's how we're stuck in this loop and we can't get out of this loop. And it's just let go of yesterday's stuff. Just let it go. And then see today as a new adventure with possibilities and be present in the moment, and then just create from that.
Yeah.
State of being.
Yeah. Because that's where the truth lies. That's where the alignment is. That's where the oneness is. It's in that stillness and that allowing and being present. The gift of the present is in the now. You know, the other thing I say to people too when they're on this road is occasionally look back. I don't know if I'm making any difference. I don't know if this is working for me. Look back from where you came from. Are you in the same state? Are you in the same turmoil? Are you in the same despair? And if it comes back no to any of those, look how far you've come.
Yes.
If you've come this far, how far can you still go?
Definitely. But we're very hard on ourselves. We just make one little mistake and then we're really hard on ourselves. And it's very sad because, if you won't treat somebody else the way that most of us treat ourselves, and we're very hard on ourselves.
But we're not going to have the right kind of friends if we do that. You know, we're just going to end up being a bitch fest, you know, who can be out bitch each other, you know, which we do see a lot of, you know, because misery loves company. But do you love misery? Have you got to such a state in the world that we love misery? You know, it's like a car crash or a train crash. We stop to look, and it's like, you know, if you're stopping to help, great.
Yeah.
But, you know, and if you're driving by, put some white light, healing white light on the person, you know, that is in that accident. Send them some love as you drive by, right? But don't look at how bad was the crash. You know, we've got excited over the wrong things.
Yeah. Yes, we do. I think a lot of people they're so bored with their life that they try and create drama out of stuff and judge others.
I have a saying for that. It's like they take a pimple and make it into a volcanic eruption.
Yes, definitely. And I think it's a form of, like, I don't know, escapism, just feel better about themselves, or just to distract them from the boring stuff that they keep bringing from yesterday. I mean, it's like you said, it's so yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's you know, if you're tired of schlepping yesterday's stuff with you all the time, just
heavy work. It's heavy work. It's so tiring. Why are you so tired? Because you keep bringing the same old doo-doo with you.
Yes, definitely. And just the best way that I find helps to let go of something is to change your perspective.
Yeah.
Because from where we are right zoomed in with the magnifying glass. Everything looks huge. Everything is big, and we have a lot of judgments about it. And sometimes if we just change our perspective, ask a tree, what do you think about my problem? Right. Or go above the clouds, go and vibrate with the sun, and try and see the world from the sun's perspective and your problems from there. And it's just by changing your perspective, it gets you out of that state of everything
panic.
Is huge.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes it's simply a pimple, folks. You know, and that's it. And, you know, this is the thing is, I think we're so scared of judgment. We're so scared of other people judging us and ridiculing us and persecuting us, because we've become very, you know, very judgy, persecuty type people. You know, it isn't like innocent before proven guilty. It's now guilty trying to prove your innocence. And we're so quick with the pitchforks and so quick to damn thing. And of course, social media has made that very easy, the coward's way to slice and dice people instead of understanding and seeing things from all sides to understand. No condoning of any wrongful acts, but if we understand why that person made that act, maybe we can, as a whole, as a community, prevent that bad act from happening together, you know, happening again, if we come together with each of our perspectives and lay out that puzzle and all those pieces put together, we'll find the solution. But instead, we just bring out a pitchfork or a gun, right?
Yeah, and like you always bring something up that reminds me of something. Like you said, a puzzle.
Yes.
So obviously we only see a puzzle piece, and you're trying to make heads or tail what is going on with this puzzle piece. And if you just have like a shadow, a black piece of puzzle, and you go and judge this, but once you put it in the right place, it needs to go, and you see the bigger picture, I mean, it's needed to give the picture its depth, its beauty. And I mean, if you put things into perspective, it makes sense. But yes, we're very quick to judge because all we have is a few pieces of puzzles, and we're just trying to make sense of it. And it's like, okay, well, this must be bad.
Right.
Instead of
give the puzzle a chance. And that's something we don't do. We're very quick. You know, we've become very instantaneous people. I want the gratification now, right? And we're looking for gratification on all the outside, and not realizing that gratification is in your in your gratitude for what the universe and what this planet has given us, for our very existence, that gratitude of being alive and being able to make your own choices, to follow your own path, is an extraordinary gift. That's where the gratitude should be, right?
Yes.
Not to gratuitousness of I want, and I don't care who suffers for it, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think when we try and find things for gratification, if you try and find the happiness, and you go look for it outside of yourself, it's very short-lived. It's not everlasting.
How many Gucci bags do you need?
Yeah. And then most people, once they reach that goal where they thought their happiness would be, it's empty promises.
Yes.
It's short-lived. They now need to go and look for the next thing, and then they keep chasing the happiness. It keeps running away from them.
Right.
They keep having to find the next big thing. But this is now looking outside of yourself. It's almost like going to the mirror with the reflection and going to go and look for the happiness in there, or trying to tickle the reflection to get it to smile or be happy. But if you can go within yourself, and I think peace is the doorway to your heart, is the doorway to your soul, it's the doorway to your highest self, a higher vibration, to God. There is an abundance of happiness. I think our natural state of being, when we are connected with our higher self, is happiness. And if we don't go and look for that happiness in something else or in somebody else to make us feel complete or happy or anything like that, but if we can actually go within ourselves, we will find it, and we will hold on to that peace and that happiness no matter what is happening around us. Whether the roof is falling on our head, we will still be able to maintain and hold on to that happiness. It's not I will only be happy once I have the money, once I have the girl, the boy, the job, the security, the title, whatever it is. But it's like, I'm happy, and I'm happy now, and that inner happiness. And because you are vibrating at that, you become the magnet, and you just draw these happy experiences to you, not because you want it to be happy. It comes to you because you are happy.
Exactly. Be the love you seek, be the peace you seek, be the joy you seek. It's all inside, just press that button and release it. People equate material things as making you happy, but the true enrichment and abundance is the inner happiness, is the inner gratitude, is that inner love. That's where you really do feel enriched, abundant, that you have everything. It's there, right there within you. You are it. It's not something separate. It's you are it. I love interviewing musicians because they're so, there's a couple of them that I've interviewed. They are the instrument. The instrument is them. You can't separate them. And when they're playing that music, it is their soul and heart coming through that, and that truth. And, this is why music is so healing. When you've got that musician that really is the music, is that's their frequency, that's their vibration going out, and they're sharing their essence of themselves. And that's when you fortify yourself with love and that enrichment and that abundance and that clarity. The essence of you will precede you wherever you go, and people will feel that essence and be uplifted by that essence. You become that glow and that light for others to open up shed light on their own darkness.
Definitely. I agree with everything you said. If you connect with your highest self and you just sit in that beingness of your completeness, your vibration, because now you will just keep pulsing out this energy, and it will just be a light in the darkness for other people. They will just come into your vibration and just feel good. They'll just feel better. And that's why it's I think very important to keep working on yourself and to keep trying to just raise your vibration from all this chitter chatter going on around you, and let go of the baggages and just go within, and then just sit in that perfection of who we are. And you don't have to do anything, you don't have to do much in that place.
Just be honestly you.
Be.
Yes.
And everything will just be perfect.
Right. And again, you know, what is perfection? Well, if you're seeking outside, you'll never find perfection. You'll always find a flaw. When you're living in that perfection of love and abundance, you know, the perfection is in the truth of who you are and why you are and what we're here to do, because we're all here in service of each other. What is our gift of service? And when we step into that and we lovingly share that service with others, and we don't need the adulation or even the thank you, but we know that it's helped people. I'm going to share a little story going back to what you said earlier about the vibration. My mum was 95, she was extremely sick. She wanted to cross over, but she didn't know how. And I put out a plea to all my friends on Facebook. My mum needs help in crossing over. And I had 110 people send loving wishes, good vibrations, white light, etc. My mum the next day, apparently it was a cloudy day, and apparently the sun just came down and shone through the window and shone on her. And that she opened her eyes and opened her hands and just ascended. And it was, and I know that it came from all that loving vibration. It opened up that door for source to take her home. And sometimes we need that. That's part of that beautiful unity of togetherness, of coming together with our beautiful divine energies. We can make so much happen in that divine light.
Oh, definitely. Another way to see it. Okay, so we all the wholeness, and the wholeness, if I want to put it into like explanation, into a picture, let's say your body. And I, for example, am associated with my eye, and I want to just be the best I can be. And I'm only looking out for number one, me, my eye.
Me, myself, and I.
And I don't care about the rest of my body or anything. All I want is my eye.
Yeah.
But there's only so much my eye can do.
Exactly.
And so if we look at it in this way, if we work together as a body, and I need my other eye, I can't like just try and outbeat my other eye, look best, to see the best or whatever. But if I work with my eye, if I work with my hands, we can eat, we can feed this body, we can smell beautiful things, I can help the rest of my body know where to go, but the rest of my body can enrich the wholeness of my body. And this is how we as a human race can work together. I am never going to be you.
Exactly. I'm already taken. You're already taken, right?
I can be the best I can be for you.
Right.
For me and you. And we can work together instead of me trying to outwin you or to judge you or to bring you down so that I can feel better about myself. But if we all work together as a oneness of body, then we can have the most amazing experience instead of fighting with each other the whole time and trying to put each other down.
I know.
And have this tug of war and not getting anywhere because we are trying to step on each other. But if we can actually work together, we can stand up and actually go and do something amazing.
As our own individual instrument, we may sound absolutely wonderful, right?
Yes.
We may have a great effect. But when we join that orchestra in sync and in harmony, we transcend as a unit, as a complementary unit, and we're able to do things together that we're not able to do on our own. This isn't becoming part of the one and abstaining yourself. This is being the best version of yourself to bring to the collective, to create that harmony.
Definitely. Definitely. And if we all have that mindset, if we all have that attitude, then this world will just look so much different. There will be so much love. There will be no poor. There will be nobody
Hunger.
who is suffering alone, because
Right.
we'll all look out for each other. We'll all do our very best to uplift each other, just to make this a more beautiful place, a more harmonious place, and a place of completeness and wholeness and love.
I was talking a while ago with someone about being raised in England, and at 14 I went to South Africa, where you were from. And I remember I had a twin pram, a doll's pram that was a twin pram. And I would take my dolls out for walks everywhere. And as long as I was home for tea, and we didn't worry about abduction. We didn't worry about people hurting us on the street. That was so rare to ever see that happen. And now we're so scared to have our kids out of sight, even in the garden or anywhere, because we've got so many more predators today. Why do we have so many more predators? Why are they happy to be resonating on this low vibration? And why do we feed them, which we do with our own misery or fear? We feed them. If we don't want to live in a fear state, then we need to raise that frequency, raise that vibration of ourselves, and we create that safety vibration around all that we love. It's the world that we've created for ourselves was created by us, folks. All the discord, all the hate, all the everything going on in the world, we did that. The universe and God didn't do it, we did. It's time for us to step up and take accountability for our own doo-doo and erase yesterday. Only take what was good from yesterday forward with you. Why are you carrying all that load of dung in your backpack, right? It's weighing you down. When you learn to let go of what doesn't serve you and take with you the skills and the tools that you've learned each day that enhance your journey, then not only do we benefit, but anybody around you benefits too.
Amen. I agree. 100%.
We become the solution that we're all seeking. We're not meant to seek it individually. For ourselves, we are, but we're all looking for that village and that collective, that orchestra, that choir to belong to, right? And when we find that, we are now in sync with those people, and together we can create such harmony. But we can't go to that orchestra, with a guitar with no strings. We've got to put ourselves together first before we can find that collective. So it isn't about somebody else fixing you or somebody else completing you, somebody else being your answer. You are the answer unto self. Be you and allow you and all your beautiful lessons to come through, and get rid of yesterday's doo-doo.
Definitely. And also, if we work together as a collective, as a oneness, we shouldn't put blame on the weakest link.
No.
We should rather, just all step up, be the strength to help up, to raise up those who might need it at the time, because there might be a time that we might need it.
Yeah.
And then, we all work together to just keep everyone afloat and not just drag down, blame everyone if something goes wrong, like, who did this? It's your fault.
Yeah.
Instead of that, instead of separating yourself, it's like, you did this. Okay, well, we created this. So how can we fix this?
Exactly. As a collective.
Yeah.
All voices at the table. I don't know if you read the book of the 7 hats, and each person puts the hat on and comes with their opinion, and everybody has to wear the hat around before anyone else can speak. And you've heard everyone out. And it's like, well, that was a really good point. I didn't think about that. And that point's really good. Now, what if we tried this and tried that? And there's an excitement now, because there's been so many creative ideas. Instead of one person slapping another one down and not hearing them, learn to listen and hear each other. You have no idea. It may not be a solution for today, but down the road, you're going to go, so-and-so with this idea fits perfectly here. And we're going to retain that because it was positive.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's always a positive. There's always a solution. There's always a higher vibration. And there's always a way. No matter what situation you find yourself in, there's always a way to connect to your highest self and to a higher vibration. There's
And
never
when you do, there's no going back, is there? When you're in that higher self, yeah, I'm not going back back there. You've got to be kidding. Definitely not. So what is the program that you have that takes people to that higher self?
Well, there is two ways that I work with people. First, as a group, I explain to them about my perspective of the highest self, how we can work with the higher self, why you should work with the higher self. And then I actually put them through a hypnosis to help them connect to their higher self. And I install a keyword so that when they use the keyword, they go back to that state.
Right.
Not necessarily half asleep type of thing,
Right.
but their mind goes back to that state, back to that connection that we've made in hypnosis. And it is extremely powerful, and it opens doors. It just opens up. You can, in that state, you can ask the question and the answer will come. And it's very, very powerful. So I do that. And then I also work one-on-one with people where if there is something very specific that they are wanting to work on, we work on that specific thing through, sometimes I will coach them through intuition, and then we do hypnosis so that we know exactly what we are working on for them to connect.
The thing about hypnosis, it's removing your consciousness and going to the subconsciousness of truth, or really what the problem is.
So that is like the normal way of hypnosis. I do a quantum hypnosis, or you could call it like a higher self hypnosis, where I go past the conscious mind, past the subconscious mind, straight to the highest to your highest self, to God, to the universe, to the highest consciousness. And then we kind of like, it's almost like removing yourself and seeing the situation, seeing yourself from a different perspective.
From the universal point of view rather than, from the human point of view. Hypnosis is incredible. I remember my daughter, she was, I don't know, about under 5 anyway, and she would just at night, she could not sleep in her own bed. She couldn't sleep in the dark. She was always afraid, and a confident little girl in the day, but not at night. So I took her to a hypnosis for hypnosis. And what we found out in 3 past lives, she'd been abandoned and left in the dark. And we were able to explain that was then, it's not now. You are free, you are safe. And she went from not only sleeping in her own bed initially with the light on, but very soon the light being off and being perfectly all right in her own darkness, because she realized it's not me, I'm not being abandoned. Right? I can let that past go, wish them love and let them go. And even at that young age, she understood that and applied it. So it's a way of getting out of the fear or the confusion and the chatter that's there, that's dooming you, and allowing that real truth to come through and can honestly obliterate all that negative chatter.
Yeah, so the way that I like to explain it, it's like, okay, so at the moment, our perspective is we are down here on Earth. There's all the clouds. These are our limiting beliefs. These are our thoughts. These are the programs. And then there's the sun. Now, instead of, from our point of our perspective from down here, trying to remove a cloud and trying the sun to come through this hypnosis that I do, I actually take you above the clouds. I put you in the sun, and you are it. Yeah. You are in that beingness. Yeah. And there's no separation. You are right there. And it just gives you a different perspective. It gives you your power back.
Yeah. A taste of who you really are.
Yes. Yes.
And then when they come back, are they coming back in that essence? Or if they're coming back with a kind of a memory of it, now I need to apply?
So what we do is I basically, from that state of beingness, we just send the consciousness through a loving beam back into the body. And then we ground it into the earth, connect it to the earth, and then become like a oneness. So your heart is connected to the heart of the sun, and then it comes all the way down through your body and it connects to the heart of the earth. And every time your heart pulses, you're just sending out that love. And because you are connected to the earth, and now everything that is living is connected to you, and every time you send out a pulse, it beats as the same beat with earth, and just sends out this love and this connectedness, and it just keeps you grounded, keeps you open-minded, it keeps you connected. And as soon as you start choosing to think the negative thoughts, you create that disconnect again.
Yes.
But then with the keyword, you can just go and connect again. You don't have to necessarily come to me to do it all over again. So that's why I like to install the keyword, so that people don't
fall back,
but that they can do it by themselves, and they have that power, the authority, and the know-how, the skills to connect to their higher vibration, their higher perspective by themselves.
I think we're spiritual beings having a human existence.
Yes.
And when we do come together as this beautiful divine essence and the human essence and come together, we realize what a gift it is. The fact that we can touch and hold and taste and feel is a very different type of vibration to what the universe has. So it is our senses are completely opened up to everything, and in that we feel more, we see more, we appreciate more, we can do more. We're more immersed in the gift that this experience is giving us. But in a lot of ways we have to surrender the ego, surrender the past views on life, surrender any form of dictation that has been imposed upon you. We have to surrender it, and just be, and let us be united, because you can't do it with conditions. I will do it if. No, it isn't really that. Surrender.
Yes, definitely. I was going to say something, but it slipped my mind. So
okay, it'll probably come out in a moment. So you help people through hypnotherapy, and what else do you do?
Well, I do intuitive readings for people. I'm not a psychic. I can't read people's minds, but I connect to the energy. I have trained myself to step out of the way, step out of my way, and to connect to the energy. So sometimes I can connect to the energy of somebody had a sore shoulder. I actually connected to the energy of the sore shoulder to find. It's almost like I had this conversation with the sore shoulder, and I just told the person, I write it down, and I just gave it to the person, and they were like, this is spot on. This is exactly what is going on, and things that they have been doing to cause the shoulder to hurt. So I also help people with intuitive readings, just to see the broader perspective of what is going on. But I have recently, I wrote an ebook that explains everything that you need to know about the higher self. It's called Understanding the Higher Self. It is the who, what, where, how, why, and all those things about the higher self, which just gives a little bit of like inside, a little bit of a taste of what the higher self is, because people will hear higher self and they're like, what, who's the higher self, what is that, what even is? So I just put it down into words so that people can read it and digest it at their own time.
I think, one of the things that we need to do is, again, to let the fear go, let the doctrine of the past go, simply step into allow. We are adventurous and wondrous creatures by human nature. Step into wonderment, surrender into that wonderment, and trust the universe to lead us where we need to be. And we'll always find ourselves in a place that never would we have thought of putting ourselves, right? But my God, is it a place that we needed to be?
Definitely. Definitely. I mean, if wake up every morning with a clear, clean canvas ahead of you,
Exactly.
and create something beautiful, magnificent, something that you don't recreate yesterday. Don't paint pictures that you have done before. Don't just stay in your comfort zone. Explore and experience and try things, and just every moment, every day, every canvas has the potential of perfection. And it's just up to us to open up and allow ourselves to express and to be in that perfection, instead of, like you said, holding on to fear and closing down and just using what you know and bring yesterday's doo-doo with.
Yes. But as everything in life is fluid, the oxygen in our body, the blood flow, the energy, everything is meant to be in movement. And if we shut it down, that's where we get the dis-ease, delusionment, and confusion, and which then leads into fear. And when it's in fear, it leads to hate, which leads to violence and leads to even more disconnection. So we don't want to go down that road. We want to make sure that we stop that road and surrender and go, it's not serving me. I need help in that redirection so that I can step up into my higher self and make that discovery of what my higher self is. So having said that, where do they find your book and where do they find you?
Okay, so the easiest place to get it is to go to a site called, I'm first going to say it and then I'm going to spell it. Okay, it's transformtoday.substack.com. Okay, when they go there, and I'll spell it just now, when they go there and they subscribe, the welcoming letter will have the book in it. And then they can reach me from there. That is the easiest way to get hold of me. So I'm going to spell it now, because it's transform is not as you would say it.
Right.
Spelled like you would say it. So it is TRANZ 4, the number 4. So it's transform, and then an M, TODAY, today, .substack, like you would say it, .com. So that is once again TRANZ 4M TODAY today .substack.com. So it's transformtoday.substack.com.
Right. And Substack is substack.com for the full information there. You're on Instagram at transformation, the letter formation, and you have a Facebook group, and you've also got a YouTube channel here as well. So people can find you anywhere there, right?
Yeah. So it's just basically transformation with a 4. And instead of the S, it's a Z. It's kind of like a little bit of a, like when you want to sleep, because it's hypnosis. So it's transform. Yes.
We are all needing some transformation. We're all needing to step away from the world of chaos and pain and anguish. As an empath, I find sometimes it's overwhelming with what I feel, and I have to shut it down and just go into my music and just channel here, because I find it's just so overwhelming. And the thing is, we want to heal as many people of their pain as possible. But what people need to understand, this is your life's journey. You've got to be willing to do the healing with people like Michelle, who can open you up, show you your higher self, because once you see that, that's where you're going to want to be. That's who you're going to want to be. And it helps you stay in that state of beingness rather than going back like a rubber band to the old you. You've got to be willing to do the work, folks. There is no one size fits all or quick fix. You've got to be willing to participate in your own healing. Michelle's here for you. hypnosis and various other things that she has there to help you step out of the doo-doo, live in the present, and in that presence, you are seeding the possibilities and the opportunities for tomorrow.
Definitely. And my logo is a butterfly, and it's like the transformation. And we all have that power and the authority to transform our experiences, to transform who we think we are, into falling in love with life, and then allowing life to fall in love with us.
If you don't love life, there's something missing. If you don't love yourself, there's something missing. If you don't like the planet, there's something missing, right? Go and get those pieces, and with help from Michelle, start putting your puzzle together. And when you see the bigger picture, then you realize how much you have to be grateful for.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much, Michelle, for being here today and sharing with us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I was a bit nervous, but you made me feel so at home, and I got to talk, and I'm so passionate about everything I said. So it was a lot of fun. So thank you very much.
My pleasure. And definitely the passion came through. And those are the kind of teachers that you want, folks. So the people that have been there, they've done it, they've got the passion. They've got the passion, and they're the ones that you really want to have as your guiders through your journey in life, because they understand and they know what you feel, and they're really passionate about you reaching your higher self as well. So until next time, folks, remember, you are so much more than you think you are. Be willing to take the journey and meet your higher self. Bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Find all of our shows on selfdiscoverymedia.com under podcasts or selfdiscoverymedia/shows. And for all our current shows, go to What's New. We are supported by you, the audience. You'll see a nice big shiny blue button for one-time donations, or follow us on Patreon, and you will be able to support us there. We enjoy bringing you such wisdom. And the next show will be up in just a moment.